The Fast and Furious saga. It's pretty much a superhero franchise at this point, except everybody's superpower is just driving a car real fast. Oh, and family. These movies have a surprisingly confusing timeline, and if you personally don't live your life a quarter mile at a time, I got your back. Now sit back, relax, grab a snack, and let's unpack this entire mess. I'm Joey C. Let's go! We'll begin all the way back in 1989 with a very young Dominic and Jacob Toretto. As detailed in F9, Dom and Jacob are working as mechanics for their stock car racer dad, Jack. After Jack is killed in an accident, very sad, Dom nearly kills one of the people responsible and is sent to jail. Released 2 years later in 1991, he ends up blaming his brother for his dad's death. Dom challenges Jacob to a street race, and if he loses, he has to agree to leave town and never come back again. And guess what happens? He loses, and he's never heard from again. Am I lying? Stick around and find out. Meanwhile, in 2001, a movie called The Fast and the Furious takes place, and it's comparatively sane compared to what comes later, because by God, you'll never believe what comes later. In a nutshell, Dom and his lover Letty, that's a tongue twister, run a crew of street racers who hijack big rigs to steal DVD players. LAPD officer Brian O'Connor goes undercover to take them down, but ends up falling in love with Dom's little sister Mia. And kind of with Dom. Brian helps Dom escape the feds and loses his job as an LAPD officer, obviously. So let's fast forward to the wonderful year of 2003. It is a year that has not, in any sense, aged well. As detailed in Too Fast, Too Furious, what a great name for a sequel, by the way, Brian is a fugitive and ends up going undercover for the feds with his childhood buddy, Roman. They take down a drug lord, and everybody and their mothers decides that these movies are a lot more fun with Vin Diesel in them. And I agree, the guy's a blast. 2005, baby, a wonderful year. Anyhow, now we find out that Dom and Letty are secretly married outside of the United States because they're fugitives, which we find out in F7 during a flashback. And boy, do I gotta tell you, they live happily ever after. Until 2006. Okay, now pay attention, because this is where stuff starts getting complicated. Dom and Letty and their friend Han are running a hijacking crew out of the Dominican Republic. Things go sour. Han leaves for Tokyo. Remember that, because it's going to be important later. Dom and Letty try to clear Letty and Dom's criminal record by infiltrating a Mexican drug cartel. You know, normal stuff. But Letty gets run off the road, and everyone thinks she's dead. But she's not, man! She gets rescued by a CIA operative, taken to the hospital, but she wakes up with amnesia. All of this, by the way, gets covered in the 4th, 6th, and 7th movie. What about the 5th, you ask? Well, don't worry about that, we'll get to that later. Just make sure you hit that little red subscribe button and let us know what you think in the comments below. Okay, now you've done that, let's zoom into 2007. Dom goes back to LA to avenge Letty's apparent murder. He reunites with Brian, then because of various shenanigans, Dom, Brian, and Mia all become fugitives. See Fast and Furious number 4 for more details. That very same year, movie number 5 happens. Fast 5, man! I think it's the best one in the series, but anyhow, more shenanigans occur. The details aren't important. What is important is that the legendary family is assembled. Dom, Brian, Roman, Han, Giselle, plus Luke Hobbs, a ruthless DSS agent who discovers that Letty is alive and helps the family out. Oh, and Brian and Mia find out Mia is pregnant. Are you guys keeping up? There's going to be a short quiz at the end here, and I gotta tell you, I'm presenting the information and I'm confused. What movie are we on? Okay, so 2008, Brian and Mia's son Jack is born. Dom and the family rescue Letty, but she doesn't remember who they are. Giselle is killed, Owen is left in a coma, Han leaves for Tokyo, again. Oh, also, because he thought Letty was dead, Dom has been dating Elena. This same year, Elena discovers that she is pregnant with Dom's kid, but she decides not to tell him. Fast forward to 2009, a pretty big year for the family. Elena gives birth to Dom's son. As detailed in movie number 8, The Fate of the Furious, Han is doing illegal street races in Tokyo, where he takes American teenager Sean Boswell under his wing. That's all covered in movie number 3, Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. But at the same time, Han gets recruited by CIA mystery man Mr. Nobody. Meanwhile, in movie number 7, Owen Shaw's older brother, Deckard Shaw, what a name, declares war on the extended family. What? He nearly kills Luke Hobbs and Elena, and actually kills Han. Come on, man. Except he doesn't actually kill Han. You know, people really never die in these sort of things, but you get the point. You see, Mr. Nobody and Han knew he was coming, so they faked Han's death. Except we don't find that out until F9. Mr. Nobody also recruits the rest of the family, so they can stop Deckard, what a name, from obtaining the all-powerful thingy. Letty gets her memory back, Sean becomes the Drift King of Tokyo, Hacker Ramsley joins the family, Dom and Letty get back together, and they all stop Deckard from causing a parking garage to literally fall on his head. Oh, and Brian agrees to retire for the sake of his 2 children. Yeah, rest in peace, Paul Walker. Gone too soon, man. Okay, you're still with me. Good, I'm glad. Welcome to 2010. Dom is blackmailed into working for an evil terrorist called Cypher. What a badass name. Who has kidnapped Elena and their son. Hobbs is betrayed and gets put in a prison cell next to Deckard Shaw. The two develop friendly banter, which will become important later. Elena lets Dom name their son Brian, which is very sweet. But then Cypher kills her, which is, as you guessed it, that's not so sweet, man. Everyone steals a nuclear submarine, which is about as plausible as Deckard Shaw becoming part of the family. But then, Deckard Shaw becomes part of the family. Good lord, what lines will not be crossed in the saga? And then, Dom and Letty adopt baby Brian. Man, that's just so cute. It's 2012. The world is not ending. Hobbs and Shaw join forces in a movie creatively called Hobbs and Shaw. The CIA recruits them because Deckard's little sister has a superpower-giving virus in her bloodstream, and cyber-enhanced super soldiers are trying to steal it. Yeah, really. The following year is kind of boring by the standards of this series. Sean and his buddies are experimenting with a Pontiac Fiero with a rocket attached, which they're planning to shoot into space. But apart from that minor thing, not much happens. Welcome to 2014, and the last movie, until the next one, which comes out later this year. Dom and the family discover that Dom's long-lost brother Jacob, the one we mentioned at the very beginning of the video, is not big and swole, and he's a secret agent, or something like that. Letty and Maya go to Tokyo and find out Han is alive. Trek and Roman and Sean and the gang deliver the Pontiac Fiero into space to stop Jacob and Cypher from taking over the world. Jacob is redeemed, and Han decides it's time to confront Deckard Shaw. Which brings us to the future. Fast X? What's gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? How is it gonna happen? I don't know. Will someone go to Mars? Probably. What's gonna happen in the 11th movie? Or the 12th movie? I don't know, man. But it'll probably be a normal movie about racing on the road. No space. There's not gonna be any space this time. It's gonna be a nice, easy movie with roads, and they'll probably go to Uranus. Ladies and gentlemen and everybody else in between, what do you think of the timeline? What do you think is going to happen next? I gotta tell you, this is exactly what's going to happen. Vin Diesel is going to get into a car and he's going to drive so fast he's going to go back in time to the other movies, Back to the Future 2 style. No, hang on, wait, I'm not done. No, don't end the video. No, stop.